As we begin our service today, we acknowledge that we are gathering upon the unceded land, homeland of the Western Abenaki people. We express gratitude for their traditional and ongoing stewardship of the lands and waters, and we offer respect to the elders both past and present. Good morning. My name is Tom Shurston, and I am your worship associate for today. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And on behalf of the entire worship team, I am delighted to welcome all of you, both those of you here in the sanctuary and those in the live stream. Thank you for joining us in this time of worship. Whether you are a newcomer, a longtime member, or somewhere in between, you are part of our community, and we deeply appreciate your presence and fellowship. Since 1864, this Unitarian Universalist congregation has been a sanctuary for those seeking spiritual sustenance as well as justice and peace in the world. And with you here today, we continue on that path. Please know that we have hearing assist aid devices at the small table in the back of the sanctuary. And please know that you can also listen to and watch the service in the fireplace room downstairs if you need to leave the sanctuary for any reason. If you have a personal concern, challenge, or loss that calls for our love, support, and prayers as a spiritual community, we have a member of our lay pastoral care ministry team available after the service today if you would like to share more deeply. This morning, our lay pastoral caregiver is Mary Jane Olson. Further, the lay pastoral care ministry team is hosting a fireside chat in the fireplace room next Sunday, November 19th, after service on surviving the holidays. It's always a pleasure to have newcomers and guests join us for worship. If this is your first or second time being here and you wish to do so, would you wave your hand or stand so that we can give you a personal welcome? I see waves. Thank you. We are glad you are here. Any of you who are newcomers to our congregation and worship services are encouraged to join us at coffee hour immediately following the service so that we can offer you a more personal welcome. Also, you're encouraged to fill out the welcome form so we can connect with you outside of our service. Our preacher this morning is not a newcomer, but a longtime UCM member, Ginny Sassaman. She's been studying, teaching, and writing for more than a dozen years about both collective well-being and personal happiness. She has a master's degree in mediation and a certificate in positive psychology. A member of UCM and the choir since 2006, Ginny has been a lay service leader for multiple Unitarian Universalist congregations since 2013. In 2020, she published her first book, Preaching Happiness, Creating a Just and Joyful World, and she is currently working on writing her second book, Finding Happiness on Water, Reflections from Lake Champlain. Again, a warm welcome to each and every one of you. I invite you now to turn to your neighbors in your seats here in the sanctuary and greet each other. Thank you for welcoming each other. Let's now take a deep breath, make sure our cell phones are silent, and enter more deeply into our time of worship with the prelude, which is being performed by Marc Gwinn and Dee Davis.
Good morning, everyone. I am so pleased to be back here once again. It is such an honor to be able to serve you in this community in this way. Our opening words this morning come from Kathleen McTeague. You who are brokenhearted, who woke today with the winds of despair whistling through your mind, come in.
You who are brave but wounded, limping through life and hurting with every step, come in.
You who are fearful, who live with shadows hovering over your shoulders, come in. This place is a sanctuary, and it is for you.
You who are filled with happiness, whose abundance overflows, come in.
You who walk through the world with lightness and grace, who awoke this morning with strength and hope, you who have everything to give, come in.
This place is your calling, a riverbank to channel the sweet waters of your life, the place where you are called by the world's need. Here we offer in love.
Here we receive in gratitude. Here we make a circle from the great gifts of breath, attention, and purpose. Come in. Now please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, For All That Is Our Life, number 128 in the gray hymnal.
Let us now light the chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. To light the chalice this morning, we welcome Sally Armstrong, our Interim Director of Spiritual Exploration. As she lights the chalice, I invite you to light a chalice at home if you have one nearby. We light this flame an enduring symbol of our collective commitment to lead with truth and compassion. Thank you. Please join in saying our congregational covenant printed in your order of service. We covenant to speak honestly and listen deeply to each other and the voice within, treat each other with compassion and honor our differences, take responsibility for the impact of our words, actions, and inactions have on each other, support each other in times of need and of grief, and celebrate the beauty and joy in our lives, honor the gifts of the past, and be gentle with each other as we grow, encourage each other in the brave work of creating a more beloved community and a healthy, sustainable world, and forgive each other and start again. And at this time, we have a special announcement.
Good morning. We're John and Janet Poten, and we chair the annual holiday fair. And about this time of year, we do a skit. So here goes. Well, you certainly had a great idea at the end of last year's holiday fair. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Let's write the script early.
So we did.
For the 2023 holiday fair.
So we did. And where did we put it for safekeeping?
Oh, yeah. Geez, that was my idea, wasn't it? Let's put it downstairs in the church basement with all the other holiday fair stuff, just so we can find it easy.
So no script, no skit. We do want to thank everyone who helped clean out the basement and who saved the aprons and the gazebo.
Oh, Janet, look, we could do it. The holiday fair is Friday, December 1st, from 5 to 7, and Saturday, December 2nd, from 9 to 1. And we welcome all.
Friday night is the Cocoa Bar with the Mark Lawler family and music by youth.
And on both days, you can purchase many items, dazzling jewelry for yourself and for children, comforting children's books and children's toys, homemade items, and delicious and yummy baked goods.
But you know, I cannot give away my wife's jewelry. She might really be upset with her food. So, what can I do?
Well, Dave, you can volunteer if you'd like, you know, or you can. I know your family's big into wreaths, but if you choose to get one of our wreaths, you can bid on the quilt or the wreath, or as a former head of the holiday fair, you might want to volunteer or sign up or donate an item.
We're not going to have lunch this year, but we'll have sweets and coffee and juice all day, and on Friday night, the Cocoa Bar.
This year's freshly harvested pecans and do all your holiday.
profit raised goes to the UCM General Fund, which is an important aspect that we all contribute to. It also helps the community. There's some real nice items for low cost because you have each gone through your closets and drawers and found things that you no longer need to be using, and you donate them to the fair. Whoa, thank you. So all children can go through their closets and drawers also. There will be a meeting at noon today in the vestry, or you can stop by the holiday fair table today to sign up for your times.
See you at the fair.
For all those of you who were downstairs and I said I had plenty of time, I wonder what I forgot to do. Well, turning on the mic was the thing. So now that I'm all ready, I would like to invite all the children to come forward. I have something I want you to be able to see. And so if you come up closer, you can see it a lot better. So I'm going to get over there in my position while you're coming up. So please come up and join me. You're going to have to get closer. Come closer. Okay, we've been talking this month about generosity and about being generous. And we said that one definition of generous and being generous is something more than you expected. Like we talked about last week, if you had a generous piece of cake, what would it look like? And then I think it was Liam described this delicious piece of chocolate cake that was making me very hungry, but how it was a great big piece. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about the generosity of nature. And I want to tell you a true story that happened to me a couple of summers ago. So I didn't grow up in Vermont. I grew up about 800 miles from here in a place called Michigan. Michigan is easy to find on a map because it looks like a mitten. And if you're from Michigan, and I know that there's some other people here who grew up in Michigan, when somebody says, where do you live? Where did you live? I lived right here. People use their hand to tell you where they lived, and I lived right in the middle. So it's easy to find Michigan on a map because it's also surrounded by lakes. Huge, big lakes that are almost, when you're standing there, it looks like you're at the ocean, except there's no tide, there's no salt, and there are no sharks. But there's water all around. Well, millions of years ago, Michigan was covered with a sea. All kinds of water covered it. And there were creatures that lived in the sea. And one of these creatures was a colony of coral. And it came from that particular part of, actually it didn't come from Michigan, but it ended up in Michigan. And after the waters went down and the sea disappeared and there were just lakes, the sea creatures died. And I bet you can tell what they turned into. Fossils, you're right, they turned into fossils. And they were down under the water, and they broke up and they came into kind of smaller bits of pieces, and people go there to find them. And the fossils have a name, and I know that there are at least two people I've seen here from Michigan. I'm smiling at Barbara Conry knows, and I know Harris probably knows. What do you call those stones? Oh, there's more than just the two of you. Petoskey stones. We call those Petoskey stones. And they come from, could you hold this, Rocco? I'll show you. They come from right up in here. So one day my sister said to me, let's go see if we can find some. Because remember, I lived in the middle and there weren't big lakes around me, and you can still find Petoskey stones there, but the best place to find them is in Lake Michigan up near a town called Petoskey. So they said, let's go see if we can find them. So we did. We drove up to this little place in this park, and we walked down to the beach. We had to go down a bunch of stairs, and when we got down there, it was covered with lots and lots, thousands of, don't peek, stones that look like this. And you can't see this from back there, but they just look like plain old gray stones. And how are we going to find a Petoskey stones in all these hundreds and thousands of stones? Well, what happens is when the Petoskey stone gets wet, you can see where the creature was. You can see the fossil that's left behind. Well, I thought, I could try with a spray bottle. That might work. Or I could take a bucket of water and I could just dump it on some of these rocks. But what do you think would be the smartest thing to do? Go into the lake. So I walked along the shore because I'm kind of timid about getting out into the lake. And I walked along the shore and I looked and I looked and I couldn't find any. And my sisters were going, look at this beauty I found. Look at this one I found. So I thought, I'm going to have to get in the lake. So I walked out into the water, and see if this has ever happened to you. While I was looking down into the water, guess what the water did to me? A big wave came. I can see by your faces, you know what happened. Knocked me right down into the water, face first. I came up, I was spitting water, I was all wet, and what did I see? My two sisters laughing. Have you got sisters or brothers? And then sometimes they laugh at when things happen. So my sisters were laughing. I got up again, and I thought, I'm going to get closer to shore. Another wave. They're still laughing. So then I thought, maybe I'll just kind of climb out like climb on my hands and knees. Once more, 3 waves knocked me down. Did my sisters come out to help me? No, they did not. So I climbed out, and when I got on the shore, I was still spitting water, and my hair was all wet, and I sat on a log. And when I sat on the log, right next to me, guess what I saw? A Petoskey stone. I'm going to show you what it looked like. It was this very stone. I'll let you hold it in your hand. I'll let you start, Rocco, and you can pass it around, and you can look at it. You can see the creature that used to be there before it was a fossil. It looked like this when I found it, but when I polished it up, you can see how neat that is. Here's another one. I'll push it that way. Now, those were gifts from nature, and that was a surprise gift. I didn't know it was going to be right there next to me on the beach. But you know what? You probably won't find a Petoskey stone in Vermont. What might you find? You could find fossils here. I'll show you what some children told me that I could find in Lake Champlain. Have you seen rocks like this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, these are called, they told me these are called, you can pass these around too if you want. They're called wishing stones, and you can find them in Lake Champlain. They're a kind of shale, I believe, and they have a white stripe. Maybe some of you sitting back there have gotten, I can see heads shaking. Lots of people have found these wishing stones, and sometime when you're there, yeah, you've got so many. Me too, I have a whole jar.
I just put them in the garden.
You put them in the garden? Yeah, they're fun to find.
And then when I put them in my mom's poppies.
When you put them in your mom's poppies, then you can...
Not poppies, cosmos.
Oh, cosmos.
Humongous.
They were humongous plants. She put the stones there, and then you could see it when you saw the flowers. Well, nature gives us all kinds of gifts all the time. Somebody that I saw the other day had a big leaf that was as big as my hand. And you know what? You guys are shorter and closer to the ground. I bet you can find lots of gifts from nature because nature is very generous. And when we find these things, how do we look when we find? How do our faces look? Yeah, that's what I thought. Big smiling faces, and I think that's still true for grown-ups. When you find a beautiful flower, when you find a special tree, when you find a rock, when you find a feather, those are all gifts from nature, and nature is very generous to us. So thank you for listening, and now we will go to the Children's Chapel. Everyone will sing to us, and we will head out.
If you are looking for ways to engage in activities at our church, the Spiritual Exploration Team is looking for teachers and substitutes for our youth programs. Whether you have lots of time to share or can take on only a limited commitment, visit the Spiritual Exploration table at coffee hour for details. Are you a senior? Would you like to participate in the UCM Seasoned Souls program? Then come to the fireplace room after the service today for more information. To keep track of ways that you can be involved with the life of our congregation and the broader community, please consult the weekly e-news, which is carefully prepared every Friday. Our giving is a spiritual act, and our generosity is a form of love and gratitude that helps us practice Unitarian Universalism in support of our shared values with our collective resources. Charity is central to the well-being of our church community and beyond, as well as primary to our own sense of self. Each month through the UCM Community Pouch program, we share part of our collection with an important church fund or a community organization aligned with our values. The November Community Pouch recipient is the Abnaki Circle of Courage After School program, and they put the concepts of belonging, generosity, and independence into practice. Half of our cash offerings will go to our pouch recipient. The other half will go directly to support the mission and ministry of this congregation. If you wish to designate your entire contribution to the community pouch, please note that on the memo line of your check or a note attached to your cash. Checks will go to the church unless designated otherwise. You can find the offering pouches, or you did find them on the ends, and you have passed them to the center. Thank you so much for doing that. We are so thankful for each and every one of you for your generosity in its many forms. And we can now join the musical offering done by Mark and Dee.
Sunshine
Thank you, Mark and Dee. That was so beautiful. I invite you now to move into a time of meditation. It's a particularly auspicious day for meditation, since we're in the midst of one of the biggest holidays in India. Diwali is today. So I welcome you to relax, to slow down your breathing. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Just breathe in and out gently in an easy, non-forced way. And as you're breathing, I invite you to contemplate the gifts of the 5 bodily senses, starting with vision. Even with your eyes closed, focus on what you see. Breathing in and out. What a gift our vision is. All the colors, all the smiles, all the snowflakes we get to see. An amazing show, day after day, thanks to our eyes. Now shifting to your hearing. Even in the silence, there's so much to hear. What do you hear now? The ventilation system. Maybe the echoes of the music are still in your ears. Again, our hearing, another priceless gift. Music, summer breezes, a tea kettle whistle, the symphony of life. Now moving your attention to your sense of smell. Here in this space, what do you smell? Sometimes smell can be a warning system, and sometimes it can be enticing. So many sensations come to us through our noses. Now on to taste. Notice what you taste right now. Maybe a trace of toothpaste or coffee. Just think for a moment all the pleasures that come our way through the sense of taste. Life is so much better thanks to taste. And finally, the sense of touch. What do you feel right now? Maybe a cool draft across your face, or the softness or scratchiness of what you're wearing. So many textures in the world. Squishy mud, soft pillows. So many experiences at our fingertips. What gifts our senses are. Now let us share in a moment of silence. The reading this morning is from poet Mary Oliver. My work is loving the world. Here the sunflowers, there the hummingbird, equal seekers of sweetness. Here the quickening yeast, there the blue plums. Here the clam deep in the speckled sand. Are my boots old? Is my coat torn? Am I no longer young and still not half perfect? Let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. The phoebe, the delphinium, the sheep in the pasture, which is mostly rejoicing, since all ingredients are here, which is gratitude, to be given a mind and a heart and these body clothes, a mouth with which to give shouts of joy to the moth and the wren, to the sleepy dug-up clam, telling them all over and over how it is that we live forever. So some of you may remember during one of our services at the North Branch Nature Center, I lit a candle of joy to share my excitement that I was about to go on my first ever backpacking hike. I had trained, broken in new hiking boots, bought dehydrated food, and borrowed a one-person backpacking tent. I thought I was ready. My husband, Bob, dropped me and my friends, Melissa and Roberta, at the trailhead. Poles in hand, off we went. And almost immediately, I fell. It was just a short fall forward, and I wasn't hurt. About a half hour later, I fell again. Again, just a little fall, no harm done. But by the third fall, I got banged up. I also lost my confidence. I didn't understand what was happening, and I was scared. Melissa and Roberta quickly jumped in to help me. They readjusted my pack, which was uneven and unsafe. The pack was the source of my problems. It was destroying my sense of balance. But I didn't want to accept their generosity. Until the third fall, we had all been 3 strong, intrepid women. Suddenly, I felt like a fraud. In October, the New York Times published a piece that helped me understand my reaction. It was entitled, "Why My Fall Made Me Feel So Ashamed," by Danny Shapiro. Shapiro wrote, "When we fall, we are consumed with embarrassment and its more toxic cousin, shame, mortified by our fragility and its accompanying whisper of aging and death. An insistent voice seeps in. Now they'll see me for who I really am, weak, frail, and alone." That is exactly how I felt, weak, frail, and alone, maybe ashamed, and definitely not wanting their help. But I don't think it's just false. I suspect that most of us would rather be the giver, not the one who is falling, who was just in a car accident, or lost a job, or had a house fire, etc. But we are all fallible and sometimes unlucky. On occasion, we will all be on the receiving end, whether we like it or not. The question is, can we receive with loving hearts or stay stuck in reluctance or even more negative emotions? When we do need help, I think identity issues are likely to arise and fuel that reluctance. For example, I wanted to identify as strong and intrepid, not someone incapable of backpacking. So that's something to be attuned to in your own situations. Open minds are also a key component in receiving generosity more fully. But another part of our reluctance, I think, is a little more shallow. I think it stems from internalizing the often stated belief that it is better to give than to receive. Even St. Francis of Assisi alluded to this when he said, "It is in giving that we receive." Yes, and I have come to believe that in receiving, we can also give. That is, when we are not shy about accepting help, we allow the givers to feel good about their actions. Which takes me back to the backpacking adventure. Though I made it to the overnight shelter, in the morning I knew it was dangerous for me to continue. The next 2 days were going to be very steep ups and downs, summiting Jay Peak, one of the highest mountains in Vermont. Very treacherous for someone who kept falling. But it was also risky for me to go back on my own. So Melissa and Roberta immediately offered to walk me out. This added an extra 4 miles to their already strenuous day. It was an extremely generous offer. And still, my acceptance was grudging. I told them I felt guilty. Both women swiftly shut me down. "No," they said. "We are doing this because we want to. If you feel guilty, that's your problem." And finally, I understood their gift came from kind hearts. And then my heart opened up in response. And my spirits lifted immediately. And I also stopped dragging down their spirits. When Bob pulled up to drive me home, I was full of joy and enthusiastically waved my friends goodbye. I was exhausted, but still elevated. Wikipedia describes elevation as, quote, "an emotion elicited by witnessing actual or imagined virtuous acts of remarkable moral goodness. Elevation is experienced as a distinct feeling of warmth and expansion that is accompanied by appreciation and affection for the individual whose exceptional conduct is being observed." Yes, yes, and yes. Accepting Roberta's and Melissa's exceptional conduct filled me with warmth and affection and lifted me up. So that all turned out to be a pretty good episode in my life. But open-hearted receiving can be so much more valuable than that when the stakes are higher. Times, for example, like this summer when downtown Montpelier flooded. In the flood's aftermath, I saw a post on UCM's Facebook page asking for volunteers to help Trinity Church across the street empty its basement. This was a particularly big job because that basement had housed a thrift shop. There was a lot of ruined stuff to get up the stairs and out onto one of the giant trash piles by the street. We volunteers, including some of you here today, emptied the basement bucket brigade style. Many hands still didn't exactly make light work. There was definitely heavy lifting, both physical and emotional. Yet Trinity Pastor Sinu positively glowed with gratitude. He certainly looked elevated to me. In the midst of all the ruin, the generosity flowed, and so did his receiving of the generosity. He thanked us all profusely, which in turn lifted our spirits. Indeed, based on their public comments, I think many of the downtown business owners also felt elevated by the massive outpouring of generous help they received. Perhaps this elevation buoyed them in the long road back to reopening. So here's a little bit more about elevation, which may be an emotional capacity you never even realized we have. So researchers Sarah Algo and Jonathan Haidt say, quote, elevation is elicited by acts of charity, gratitude, fidelity, generosity, or any other strong display of virtue. It leads to distinctive physical feelings combined with the feeling that one has been uplifted or elevated in some way. Elevation is a response to acts of moral beauty in which we feel as though we have become, for a moment, less selfish, and we want to act accordingly. It is a virtuous cycle. With gratitude, when gratitude and generosity elicit elevation in us, we not only feel uplifted, but we wish to behave better. In turn, our behavior may elevate others. So I've been thinking of gratitude and elation as something akin to cousins. Or maybe elation is more like gratitude dressed up for the prom. And certainly, we won't feel elevated by every act of generosity, which is fine. Feeling grateful is also very powerful. Dr. Robert Emmons, a leading researcher on gratitude, says that gratitude is the truest approach to life. We did not create or fashion ourselves, and we did not get to where we are in life by ourselves. So living in gratitude is living in truth. It is the most accurate and honest approach to life. He also notes that gratitude moves us toward greater engagement in life, and this leads to greater positivity, which in turn builds more personal thriving, resilience, creativity, and optimism. Further, he says, gratitude makes us more helpful, generous, compassionate, forgiving, and outgoing, and less lonely and isolated. So, resilience, be more helpful, generous, forgiving, compassionate. I think these are some of the qualities we most need now in the turbulent times in which we live. As Reverend Jones said last week, none of us can fix the world alone. But one thing we can do, in addition to sharing our own gifts, is to receive generosity with gratitude and the possibility of elevation, thus cultivating in ourselves and others a strengthened capacity to help. An email recently came my way from one of my happiness teachers, Maria Serwa. She wrote, "The sun was radiant on October 12th, and the world was/is burning. And in that complexity, here is the question I am holding. How might we face both these realities, beauty and horror, and contribute in such a way that we are true to our strengths and values, maintain our health, and offer something that is contributive, the thing that is our gift to offer?" A few days later, I saw a column in the New York Times by David Brooks entitled, "How to Stay Sane in Brutalizing Times." I thought that headline really nailed how a lot of us have been feeling. And then there was the dramatic R.K. Miles fire, almost consuming the co-op along with the lumberyard. I think many of us felt even more skittish after that night, wondering what could possibly happen next. I think a lot of us are asking the same questions. We may be anxious and jittery, yet still hopeful about moving forward in joy and justice. Accepting generosity with gratitude is something we can all do. It is free. It is not a panacea, but it can certainly help us stay sane and share what is ours to share. To be clear, that doesn't mean saying yes to everything you are offered. Not all gifts are thoughtful or heartful. Sometimes saying no is the right choice. But another choice is truly paying attention to what we are given. Like, for example, pausing and reflecting on the gifts of our senses, how normal and yet absolutely amazing. The gifts can come from many sources, from people we know or don't know, from pets curling up beside us when we are sick, or a friend showing up when we're grieving, and all matter of natural phenomena like rocks from the lake, blueberries, rainbows, sunshine on our shoulders. We need only be mindful and take it all in. Or that morning cup of coffee. Sometimes, not always, sometimes, I pause to consider everything and everyone who made it possible for me to have coffee each day. It can seem miraculous and a little bit elevating, even in imperfect times. So these imperfect times can be very personal, not just what's happening in the world around us. That's where I was mired in August 2021, when we were still in the thick of COVID. My family was having a very hard time. For a respite from our troubles, we rented a house on Lake Champlain, where we witnessed multiple astonishingly beautiful sunsets. At least 3 nights that week, the extraordinary heavenly palette was more than enough to elevate my spirits, almost literally. I felt as if I could be lifted up into the waiting universe. I didn't know it at the time, but our family situation was about to get a lot worse before equilibrium finally returned. But fortunately, basking in those sunsets, I was not fretting over the past or worrying about the future. I was in the moment, and the moment was wonderful. And now, here we all are in imperfect times. Perhaps things will get worse before they get better. And breathtakingly beautiful sunsets aren't always available to lift our spirits, but there is so much more flowing our way, just waiting for us to receive and appreciate. Italian psychotherapist Piero Ferrucci writes, "Some people have everything in life, but are not content because they do not see the value of what they have. Others, instead, may be less fortunate, appreciate simple things that many of us take for granted: good health, a fine day, a smile." The possibility of being grateful, says Ferrucci, is open to us in every moment of our life. And where there's gratitude, there's the possibility of elevation. And where there is elevation, there is the possibility of a better day. May it be so. Now please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, which it's not in either of the books. Danya is going to teach it to us.
Thank you, Ginny, for that wonderful sermon. Our closing hymn is called "Thank You for This Day." It comes from the Native American Church as adapted by Karen Drucker, and it's pretty simple to learn. There are going to be 3 different verses, And I'll call out each one as they come. It's thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. And the subsequent verses will be thank you for our friends, Spirit. And then thank you for your gifts, Spirit. And then we'll end again with thank you for this day. So the first time through, I'll just lead it through as a call and response. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful 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 day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Let's do that one again. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for our friends. Thank you for our friends, Spirit. Thank you for our friends. Thank you for our friends, Spirit. Thank you for our friends. Our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful friends. Our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful again. Thank you for our friends, Spirit. Thank you for our friends. Thank you for our friends, Spirit. Thank you for our friends. Our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful friends. Our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful friends. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your gifts, Spirit. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your gifts, Spirit. Thank you for your gifts. Your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gifts. Your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gifts. Again, thank you for your gifts, Spirit. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your gifts, Spirit. Thank you for your gifts. Your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gifts. Your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gifts. Thank you for your friends. Thank you for your friends, Spirit. Thank you for your friends. Thank you for your friends, Spirit. Thank you for your friends. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful friends. Your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful friends. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day.
As we draw our service to a close, we extinguish the chalice and carry within each of us its healing flame, the warmth of community, and the spark of hope. into the days and weeks ahead.
And now please join in saying our unison mission statement. We welcome all as we build a more, to nurture each person's spiritual journey, serve human need, and protect the earth, our home. The closing words come from Tara Bennett Goldman. The richest banquet, the most exotic travel, the most interesting, attractive lover, the finest home, all of these experiences can seem somehow unrewarding if we don't attend to them fully, if our minds are elsewhere, preoccupied with disturbing thoughts. By the same token, the simplest of life's pleasures, eating a piece of fresh baked bread, seeing a work of art, spending moments with a loved one can be amply rich if we bring full attention to them. May we bring heartfelt attention to all the gifts we receive in the coming days and weeks, that our spirits may be uplifted and bolster us in doing the work of making the world a better place and our own lives more at ease. And now please enjoy the postlude.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see the blue being for you. wonderful world. Oh,
Thanks for having us.